Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. With permission, I will make a statement to the House on the situation in Sudan. 13 days ago, intense fighting broke out in Khartoum. The conflict quickly spread across the country and was being waged on residential streets in Omdurman, El Fasher, in Darfur, as well as in Sudanese cities, until a US-led ceasefire was accepted by both sides. I'm proud that we contributed to calling for that ceasefire, and we will continue to do our utmost to secure a lasting peace. But I remind the House that we anticipate that the ceasefire will end tonight, midnight, local Sudanese time. I take this opportunity to commend the hard work of officials from across government and the military, not only on the ground in Sudan, but also those who have been working day and night in our crisis response centre in the FCDO. Their extraordinary efforts have been an inspiration to me and all those who have taken the opportunity to visit them over the last few days. The struggle for power between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Force has killed hundreds of Sudanese citizens and threatens to claim the lives, sadly, of many more. This is a monumental tragedy, one with the potential to destabilise not just Sudan, but the wider region. It is therefore in our interests, and more importantly in the interests of the people of Sudan, to secure a peaceful and sustainable settlement as quickly as possible. However, our ability and the ability of all outside powers to determine the course of events within Sudan is limited. What is within our power is the safe extraction of as many British nationals as practically possible. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I am pleased to confirm to the House that the supported departure of British nationals facilitated by the UK from Sudan started on Tuesday. As of yesterday evening, 6 flights carrying 536 people had landed safely in Cyprus. More flights continue today, so that number is rising, and I will ensure that I find the opportunity to give updates to the House. A ceasefire is due to elapse at midnight local time, and no one can predict the situation on the ground after that. We are encouraging those who wish to travel to make their way to the airport today. We will continue to engage with our international partners to attempt to extend the ceasefire and bring a permanent end to the violence. And I will, of course, keep the House updated on developments on that front. For those on the ground, as you would expect, we are prioritising those in greatest need through allocating seats based on vulnerability, starting with families with children, the elderly, the disabled, or people with documented medical conditions. We have been notifying British nationals registered with us about the evacuation flights, as well as announcing them through our travel advice and also through organic social media networks of British nationals in Sudan. We are working with the Home Office, UK Border Force and the FCDO staff on the ground to facilitate clearances for those boarding the flights, and we will continue to coordinate intensively with our international partners. Several countries without a diplomatic presence in Sudan have requested that we assist their nationals. We are energetically exploring options on how best to do this without compromising our duty to British nationals. Mr. Deputy Speaker, a ceasefire is not necessarily a prelude to peace, and the situation could deteriorate over the coming days. We will continue to support British nationals, which is why we have established a temporary presence in Port Sudan on the Red Sea coast and have put consular officials on the border points in Egypt, Ethiopia and Saudi Arabia. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Sudan is the third largest country in Africa. It is more than 800 miles from the capital to Aswan in Egypt and over 500 miles from Khartoum to the Red Sea. Even if there wasn't a war, Sudan's vastness makes logistics of moving large numbers of people extraordinarily challenging. We are aware of a number of British nationals who have now left Sudan by other means, including some that were able to join evacuations led by our international partners. We are working with our diplomatic missions in the country where they are working with our diplomatic missions in the countries where they are arriving to provide consular assistance where required. Mr. Deputy Speaker, although we are making every effort to evacuate our nationals, peace in Sudan will also be a key objective. We call on both sides to end the killing for the sake of the people of Sudan. They have already suffered enough after decades of civil war. We are pursuing all diplomatic avenues to end the violence and de-escalate tension. My right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, the Defence Secretary, the Minister for Development and I are in regular touch with our international partners. The role of the African Union, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development and our partners in the region, in the Gulf and beyond will of course be critical. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the United Kingdom has profound ties and a historic friendship with the people of Sudan. We stand in solidarity with them and their right to demand a peaceful and democratic future and a return to civilian rule. When conditions allow, the UK is ready to join international efforts to rebuild the Sudanese economy and ease human suffering. This will not be easy, but it is vital for the region and, of course, for Sudan that we try. We will bring as many of our nationals as possible to safety, and we can and will play a pivotal part in rebuilding of that great and ancient country. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I commend this statement to the House.
Foreign Secretary David Lammy.